What's up, everyone? This is James Hernandez. How's everybody doing? And welcome to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be doing another anime review, but this time I'm going to be reviewing the original anime film that I got for Christmas. And today I'm going to be reviewing the anime movie called Summer Wars, which was released in 2009. And it's one of those original anime films. And it was directed by what's that guy's name? Manmura Hasanda, the guy who directed Wolf Children, A Girl Who Leaped Through Time, as well as Digimon the movie, and Belle. So let's talk about the story of this movie. So the movie is about this teenage boy who is really good at math. His name is Kenji. He was hired by his close friend named Natsuki because Natsuki wants him to help her like carry her stuff while they're going to the side of the country to meet up with her family and celebrate her grandmother's 90th birthday. So basically, while that's going on, Kenji has to pretend to be Natsuki's fiance, aka her boyfriend, despite that he's not really good at taking girls out on a date, and he's usually been like really like very shy and awkward, and he usually like gets like an anxiety about it. So, but then he basically gets along with the family as well as the grandmother, and he somehow actually got like an unknown message on his phone from the world of Oz, and then he basically cracks the code. And when that happens, he basically got framed from some like really weird AI that is like hacking to everyone's like accounts in the world of Oz. So it's up to Kenji, Natsuki, and Natsuki's family to defeat this virus called the Love Machine and save the world of Oz, as well as not just from Japan, but around the world at the same time. So the first time I actually saw this anime movie is when it was aired on Toonami on Adult Swim during the month of movies in December. And I watched it like when it was on Toonami, like when I was like getting my stuff ready to go sleep over at my cousin's house, and while I was watching this at the same time. And this was the first time I actually did watch an anime movie that is actually not based on the series. It's not like with the other like anime movies like that is based on the series like Dragon Ball or Naruto or Cowboy Bebop or Attack on Titan or Digimon or any other anime movies that was based on the popular series from different anime shows. This one is actually one of those original anime movies that I watched on TV, and then I thought to myself I wanted to get this for Christmas, and then I actually got it for Christmas. So after watching Summer Wars, what do I think of this movie? I actually thought this is actually really good, and much like everyone that actually has seen this movie, they said this is actually one of the greatest anime films of all time. And after watching it, I actually really agree. And I'm going to explain why that is. So let's talk about the animation. Now, by the design of the animation in this movie, this movie is actually animated by the company Madhouse. And I actually have reviewed an anime that was animated by Madhouse before. Like, you guys remember my review for the first season of One Punch Man. So Madhouse that did One Punch Man, Black Lagoon, as well as Death Note were the animators from this movie. And that wasn't until like after when I watched One Punch Man and then I watched this and I look at the backgrounds and I saw the human character designs and I was thinking to myself, oh, so basically the company, the animators of Madhouse actually did this. That's very impressive. And the other thing I actually want to mention is that this movie was also released theatrically in English by Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers also actually releases this movie along with Madhouse. So yeah, I thought the animators is quite very impressive when it comes to animating this movie. And even like the world of Oz, let's talk about that place. The world of Oz is like a huge like digital world where people around the world like create their own avatars, and they usually like do their like everyday lives, like you pretty much like see what everyone does in real life. And it kind of reminds me like something like out of like the digital world kind of reminds me of something like out of Digimon. But this movie also kind of reminds me a bit like Ready Player One, way before Ready Player One was a thing, because this movie came out in 2009, while Ready Player One came out in 2018. Because like there's like you create your own avatar, and there's like a huge digital like world which just looks so creative, and it just looks like you really want to like go in there and explore the place. So when I saw like the World of Oz, like when I first watched this movie on Toonami, and especially when I got this on Blu-ray for Christmas, I look at the World of Oz and I was like, wow, look at this place. It looks humongous, and it looks very creative, and it looks large, that I actually want to explore that place. So yeah, like the World of Oz looks really cool, and they got like a tons of like avatars that people created in it. And my favorite one has to be the bunny one. I don't know the bunny's name, but he actually looks pretty cool. It looks like something like what if like Bugs Bunny was in the World of Oz. You know, like instead of being like the Wascally Wabbit like in the Looney Tunes cartoons, like he turns out to be a badass. And when he does all these like action scenes, like when you see at the opening credits of the movie, as well as during the film's climax, when Natsuki and her family, as well as her friend Kenji, has to defeat the Love Machine in order to save everyone around the world, especially the World of Oz. So, speaking of the family, let's talk about the characters. Now, I'm gonna mention some characters in this movie because, like, because there's like multiple characters that might have like different difficult names that I'm actually might be tongue tie on. But I'm gonna mention some of the characters. So the main character in the movie is Kenji. Kenji is the boy who actually is very good at math, and he's the one that actually helps Natsuki to like to carry her things in order to meet up with Natsuki's family in the country in Japan. And then he also was introduced, and he actually has like a great time spending time like with Natsuki's family, because the one scene where he actually talks to the grandmother, that when he like spends time with the family, he actually never gets like moments like that at all in his own life. And it's kind of sad because of his he said that his mother and his father has always been like out there doing like busy things and doing like work, while Kenji was mostly home by himself. So when he actually gets to spend time with Natsuki's family and Natsuki herself, he actually really does enjoy, and he actually does feel like that he's part of the family. And the scene like where he was like hanging out with Natsuki's family is very nice, and it feels like that he is part of the family. And spending time with the family in this movie actually feels very realistic, and it just feels so real. Like it feels like that they're actually are real people. So and Kenji can also be kind of like socially kind of awkward, and he's kind of a bit of a dork in my opinion. But not to say he's a bad character, because he's actually a very good character. But he does come off as like a very like one of those like dorky, like socially awkward characters that you have seen like in other like movies or shows, especially like when we see in like in other movies. But he's still a good character. As for Natsuki, Natsuki is actually the side character, and she's the one that actually not only like acts as Kenji to help her with her things while she meets up with her family, but she also has to pretend. She actually has to pretend to be Kenji's girlfriend, and she really wants Kenji to help her to make sure that the family has to make sure that they're a couple, even though they're not technically in a relationship. But there is like the side plot where Kenji does have has a crush on Natsuki, but he's not really good with his flirting skills, especially taking girls on a date. So every time when Natsuki, the scene like where Natsuki was talking to Kenji about, oh, you had to pretend to be my boyfriend. We had to, everyone in the family, especially my grandmother, has to think we're a couple. And then when she touches his hands, Kenji actually turns his skin pink. He's basically not turning red, obviously, it's actually pink. And I was like, is he camouflaging? But not Natsuki's is actually a very sweet character, and she really does care deeply for her family, especially to her uncle, who is technically the black sheep of the family. And her uncle, his name is Wabisuke. And Wabisuke is usually like the outcast of the family, and whatever he like shows up, everyone in the family except for Natsuki pretty much just like treated him like crap, and he's basically just like is not welcome. And then everyone in the family was just like, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" And then he was like, "This is my house. I'm part of this family too. I can't be welcomed here." And then it turns out that he is actually the one who actually created this virus avatar in the world of Oz called the Love Machine. And the Love Machine, however, is just this virus villain that doesn't really speak, but it just basically just like hack into everyone's account, and then everyone has to defeat the Love Machine in order to save everyone in the world of Oz, not just in Japan, but around the world. And I thought that was and the way how they're showing like the world of Oz, like when the avatars were like fighting the Love Machine, is actually really creative. And the climax is was I thought it was like a lot of fun. It just kind of reminds me of like something like out of Digimon. There was also like these cars that they summoned, which it kind of reminds me a bit of you of like kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh at times, with the exception is that they don't summon the monsters because it's not the dual desk like Yu-Gi-Oh or even the other Yu-Gi-Oh shows like Yu-Gi-Oh GX or Zexal or 5Ds or the other Yu-Gi-Oh shows. But it kind of reminds me a bit like Yu-Gi-Oh with the exception of like they don't summon the monsters, and then they actually said koi koi, and then I don't know, but like maybe it's just me, but I felt like the word koi koi just sounds funny, but maybe there's something that that koi koi might be a meaning thing about it in this movie. So, yeah. My favorite side character in the movie in Natsuki's family is actually uh, Kazumi. I hope I'm saying his name right. Kazumi is Natsuki's cousin, and he's actually very skilled when it comes to like playing the world of Oz, and he usually is the one who actually helps Kenji to like to fight the virus, like when Kenji's avatar actually got hacked. So he tries everything that he can to help him to defeat the Love Machine, who is like sending like viruses to everyone and is like hacking everyone's avatar in the world of Oz. And he also has like a back sort of like a background story where he basically is known for like studying martial arts because he actually has been bullied. So he actually was very skilled, and he basically wants to like fight back against someone who actually bullies him. So that's why you see that he basically doesn't really spend time a lot with his family because he was actually more focused on the world of Oz. But he's not really the black sheep like Natsuki's uncle. So, and the last character I wanted to talk about is the grandmother. I don't know her name, but the grandmother in this movie, not only that she feels like an actual grandmother, but she actually has one moment where she actually turns out to be a badass, and that is where she actually grabs like some type of like long sword, and was about to attack Wabisuke. When Wabisuke was telling her that he was the one that actually created the Love Machine, and then thought like everything would be good, and then he wants to come back, and then she basically grabs like a large sword and then was about to like attack him in front of everyone. And I was like, whoa, like it's something that you definitely don't see that in like especially like when grandparents in their 90s or in their 80s, that they're basically are like not as active as they are, but there are some that actually are pretty active, and this grandmother is one of them. And it kind of reminds me a bit like how Space Jam: A New Legacy did to Granny, like just making her like a bullet dodging badass lady. And I was like, wow, this grandmother is not playing around. So so yeah, and I thought the movie is very creative, and I thought the story is very interesting, and the movie has like a really great message about the family, and this is actually like one of those anime films that I actually do think that I think people should definitely go check out, especially if you want to watch like a movie that has like digital stuff and like the world of Oz, and you want to spend time with your family. Then this is a movie that I actually do think that we should you should definitely go watch. Now, in terms of criticisms, I don't know if I have a big, huge of problems that I have with this movie. I guess my only problem is that like most of the family members, while they're not bad characters, they're pretty good characters. They felt like real people, but I kind of felt like they don't really have like a huge story into them, and some of the family members in Natsuki's family don't quite have like a personality, and I really wish they have like much more screen time and much more development, like especially like when Kenji was introduced. So I really wish that the movie actually does that more, but it's not really like very distracting or anything. And some of the human characters just looks a little off. Like there was this one guy who actually has like pink lips, and I was like, is he wearing lipstick or anything? Because it feels so kind of a bit weird, and it just looks a little unnatural in my opinion. But it's not as but it's definitely not that too distracting. So overall, I would definitely would say if you really want to watch like an anime movie where you want to spend time with your family while also playing like the digital world, which kind of reminds us of like Ready Player One or Digimon. It has some elements of Yu-Gi-Oh with the cards inside the world of Oz. Then I think this movie is actually a recommend to anime fans. Even if you're not an anime fan, you should definitely still watch this movie to spend time with your family, because this movie is like not just about like the digital world or anything, but it's also like it's about like spending time and having like family time with your family. So yeah, I really do enjoy Summer Wars, and this is actually one of my favorite anime films of all time. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Summer Wars a 9.7 out of 10. This is actually one of the greatest anime movies. There are some small problems, but not a huge not a big deal or anything, but this is still a very good movie. And I actually recommend this movie to every fans of anime, especially if you're not an anime fan. I still recommend this movie to if you really like digital worlds and if you want to like watch a movie with the entire family that isn't just like a juvenile kids movie, because this is not a juvenile movie or anything like the other animated films, especially the ones that we have nowadays. So, so yeah, overall, like I said, Summer Wars, a really good movie. Um, I heard this movie is on HBO Max, but you can also like buy this on Blu-ray and DVD. So if you really want to watch like a really good family movie with some digital worlds into it, which kind of reminds you of Digimon and quite a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, then I would say go get Summer Wars and go buy it. So folks, that is my review for Summer Wars. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have seen this movie, what did you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What did you guys think of the animation? What do you think of the characters? What do you think of the world of Oz? Comment below and let me know. And also, in case if you guys are new here, feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications when I make brand new videos. And stay tuned that I'm going to be doing another anime review, and this time is going to be the original anime film, well not film, like an anime series from Toonami, and that's going to be IGPX, aka Immortal Grand Prix, which I'm going to be reviewing the first season of IGPX, so stay tuned for that. So other than that guys, hope you guys enjoyed my review for Summer Wars. This is James Hernandez, signing out.